Better late than never. What do I mean by that? Well, some time ago, I gave a Tech for Senior presentation on the DNA testing service 23andMe, and I explained that they were founded back in 2006, and they now deliver a direct-to-consumer genetic testing service. They provide various genetic-based reports that are obtained from an analyzed saliva sample that details ancestry traits and health-related issues. Now, at the time, I mentioned I had also joined Ancestry.com, which provides a similar DNA matching service, as well as their famed genealogy database. I committed that when I receive the results of my DNA testing from Ancestry, I'd do a comparison with 23andMe and tell you about Ancestry.com. I'm slightly embarrassed to say that that presentation was almost 3 years ago, March 8th, 2021 to be exact. The best I can say is, oops. All right. So what are the main services provided by Ancestry.com? Well, first, the Ancestry DNA test, as I said, similar to 23andMe, where you can use the results to learn more about your ethnicity, traits of your ancestors, and even connect with living relatives and other users to share information. On the website, they offer webinars and other tutorials, assist users as they learn about genealogy and family history research. Now, for me, their most important service is the ability to search their enormous collection of historical records so users can find information about their ancestors. One of the most important documents to review would be the U.S. Census records. Now, they date back to the first census in 1790. Census records are only released to the public after 72 years. So the 1950 census is the latest available to view, and I would guess many of you watching today can be found in this database. Now, census taking has changed. In modern times, a census questionnaire is mailed to the home for the head of the household to complete and mail back. Compare that to the not too distant past, where a census taker would come to the home and talk to the head of the household to learn about the members of the family living there. A variety of data would be gathered that when we look back to years past, it provides a wealth of information. So I'm going to compare now the 2020 census questions with that of the 1950 census. The information questions asked on the 2020 census were the name of the person completing the information and the relationship to that person, the sex of the person, the age, their date of birth, whether they were Hispanic origin or not, the race, and how many people living at that location as of April 1, 2020. Now let's compare that to the information that was asked for in the 1950 census. And remember, this was in-person interviews collected by people that were called enumerators. They wanted the name of the street, of course, and the avenue or road where the house is located. That was filled in the first column. Then the home or apartment number. They wanted to know if the house was on a farm or a ranch. And if it wasn't, was it on a location that was at least 3 or more acres? Now we get to the name of the person, the relationship to the head of the household, sex, the color or race, the age, the marital status. No, we're not done yet. Were they attending school? And if they did, what was their educational attainment at that point? Their place of birth, their citizenship. If they were foreign born, what year did the person come to the United States? The industry, business, or establishment in which the person works. Their occupation, their profession, or the particular kind of work done. Class of worker, that might be a laborer versus someone who worked in an office. So you can see the kind of information can be really useful as you look back today in 2024 to what our ancestors were doing in 1950. Then on Ancestry, you can build and maintain a family tree. So the way I do it is I start with myself, because that's the person I think all of us know the best ourselves, and then add what you know about parents and grandparents. And then from there, you use the ancestry tools to find historical records that match these family members. And again, looking at a census record, now you can see the names of the parents of the person and their ages. Then you can find out more information about them from even earlier records. With census records, you'll discover the names and places they lived, which you can add to your tree. And Ancestry.com will help you find other public family trees that have the same family members. So this family tree information, though, for living individuals, you should know that is always kept private. And then we have DNA matching. So the cost of the Ancestry DNA test kit is $99. And this will provide a list of other people who have also taken the DNA test and opted in for the connection results to be revealed. Now, these are the folks who are related to you based on your DNA. Ancestry compares your DNA and estimates how closely you are related, if at all, with those in their database. These categories can be close family members or very distant cousins. Now, they can have some unexpected results from the DNA sample. If you see a name that is listed as a close relative that you don't recognize, you can send them an email within the Ancestry system for further inquiry. Now, in my personal experience, within the last few years, Ancestry research allowed me to connect with and then meet a half-sister who lives about 100 miles away that I did not know existed. So as an adoptee, I was raised as an only child. But now, after many years of research, I have 10 brothers and sisters that are all half-siblings. A brother and sister passed away in this interim since I met them, so I'm glad I had the opportunity to meet, spend time with them, and get to know them. So the results from your saliva sample also provide a wealth of other genealogy information that can tell you about your ethnic and geographical origins from a reference population that spans over 1,000 locations. Ancestry Through Lines. This is a new service that compares the ancestors in your family tree with other trees that contain the same individuals. Then looking at the combined trees, you may be able to find new ancestors that you will want to verify with your own research that they are truly related to you. Now, what does my ethnicity percentages, why do they change? Well, my ethnicity estimate percentages and sources have changed since I first had my DNA tested. Why did this happen? What changed is how science is continuing to learn and understand DNA as they find new ways to analyze it. This can lead to new discoveries with updated results. So here I'm comparing now the results I've received from Ancestry.com as well as the ones I have from 23andMe. And you can see that in Ancestry, they go into a little bit more detail, where 23andMe just says I have 70.7% British and Irish. Ancestry breaks it down with Ireland, Scotland, England. And then there's the Ashkenazi Jewish that, as again, I mentioned once before, raised as a Catholic, baptized, communion, confirmation, and now I learn on 35, or in this case, 30% Jewish. Then working with local genealogy organizations. So my wife, Carol, and I recently joined the local Northern Gila County Genealogical Society in Payson, Arizona, where we live by. Carol has created a new website for them to better showcase the services they offer to the community. And I've helped them start a project to convert to MP3 files over 100 cassette tapes from the 1980s that contain junior high school students at the time interviewing their grandparents about their lives. So these are truly irreplaceable conversations that should be preserved for the families in the community. Then there's, of course, their international collections, including Canadian. Ancestry.com has many worldwide collections, and the Canadian collections include birth, marriage, and death records, military, immigration, and emigration records, newspapers, and periodicals. So if you're interested, you start with the Canada Family History Research page on the Ancestry.com website. So the subscription to access the database requires this subscription that costs $24.99 per month or $119 for 6 months. Now, often there are sale prices with up to a 50% discount. But these are kind of expensive. So while not as convenient as sitting in front of your computer at home, perhaps in your pajamas, most public libraries in the US offer access for free to search the Ancestry database when using one of their computers. You never know what or who you will find with genealogy research. If you or a family member have not done this type of research and created a family tree, this might be the time to consider making a commitment to tracing your lineage. My recommendation is to commit to an amount of your free time every day for online searching, and then take advantage of the 2-week Ancestry.com free trial. If this meets your expectations and you are hooked, sign up for the features you will want to use. You won't regret it.
Number 1, is it legal to use a VPN? Yes, it's perfectly legal in most countries, including the United States, to use a VPN. While using a VPN, you might find some websites that try to block your connection, but this is an individual website's use policy and has nothing to do with the legality of the VPN itself. One thing to note, though, while it's legal to use a VPN, some of the activities done while using a VPN might be illegal. Such things as downloading pirated copyrighted content or accessing dark web markets are illegal whether you use a VPN or not. Number 2, do VPNs protect against malware and computer viruses? No, a VPN connection itself does not protect you from malware and computer viruses. It does, however, encrypt your internet traffic and keep prying eyes from accessing your browsing history. Some VPN services do, however, provide additional security features, such as ad and malware blockers. Additionally, many antivirus suites, like Avast One, now offer VPN services along with their security features. Although VPNs and antivirus software are used for different purposes, there is still a degree of overlap that makes using both tools together beneficial. Number 3, will a VPN affect my internet speeds? Most likely you will see a moderate speed decrease to your internet while using a VPN. This is mainly due to the process of your internet traffic being rerouted and encrypted through a VPN server before heading to its destination. The amount of latency you will experience through this process is down to the country's server you chose to proxy your traffic through. If you chose a server located on the other side of the world, then you would notice a much greater hit than if you were to connect to a server nearby in your own country. Thankfully, most modern VPNs should have the infrastructure to maintain high speed and secure data transfer rates. Though it's likely you can still browse and stream with no noticeable impact while using a reputable VPN. Number 4, will a VPN make me anonymous online? Unfortunately, it's not as simple as just turning on your VPN and disappearing off-grid. While VPNs certainly offer better privacy and security, they don't make you completely anonymous. There are a mind-blowing number of ways that companies track you across the internet, and a VPN isn't capable of blocking all of them. For example, when you sign into a website, your identity is revealed to that website. Or when you log into your Gmail account While using a VPN, Google can now collect cookies based on your browsing. Number 5. How many servers should my VPN have? There is no set number of servers that make one VPN better than another. However, most major VPN providers offer between 3,000 and 5,000 servers. Also, we recommend avoiding any paid services whose providers have under 1,000 servers, as this may be an indication that the company is not yet well established, meaning that there is a higher chance for reliability issues. It is common for VPN providers to advertise the number of servers they have, but this is largely a marketing gimmick and doesn't generally equate to the quality of the VPN provider itself. Things such as the spread of server locations and server quality are as important, if not more so, than the number of available servers. There are many VPN choices beyond the ones mentioned in the article from Sam Singleton. You can find his complete article, which includes product suggestions, at the link listed. Stay safe, stay secure, and use a VPN anytime you're on open Wi-Fi or an insecure server. Bye-bye, and thanks for watching and listening.
The Immersive Reader for Word and Outlook. I'm Hewie Poplock. Immersive Reader is an inbuilt feature now available among a variety of Microsoft platforms. Immersive Reader provides a variety of tools to support reading and comprehension. Without altering the original text, Immersive Reader allows you to change how the text appears to you so you can read it more comfortably. Microsoft continues to expand its list of platforms on which Immersive Reader is offered and updating their Immersive Reader site with the most current information. The Immersive Reader is available for Word Online, Word Desktop, and Word for the Mac, iPad, and iPhone. It is available for Outlook Online and Desktop. The Immersive Reader is also available for OneNote Online, the OneNote Universal app, and OneNote Mac and iPad. It's available for Office Lens for the iPhone and iPad. Microsoft Teams and the browser support the Immersive Reader. Be sure to view my video on the Immersive Reader for Edge on YouTube. Let's open up Word and open up a document in Word. Like this one. And here we have a document for Word. To get to the Immersive Reader, what you're going to do is go to View, and then it's right here. When you click on the Immersive Reader, it changes it to the Immersive Reader. First, we can change the column width. Let's take a look what we have. We're on moderate now. We can make it narrow. We can make it very narrow. Or we can make it wide. Let's keep it at wide. And then there are some other things we can do as well. We can go make a page color. So we can change it to any color we want. You might want to have a background color. And if you change it to a black background, it actually changes the text to white. But we'll leave it at white. The next item here is line focus. In line focus, you can look at one line at a time and move down. You can change it to 3 lines, or you can change it to 5 lines. So as you move down, you focus in just on those lines, or you again can leave it at none. Then you have text spacing. That is an on or off in the computer version. You can also divide it into syllables. You'll see a dot between each. And then the other thing you can do is you can put your cursor wherever you want and tell it to read aloud.
Will a longer USB cable charge slowly? There can be a voltage drop if you use a longer USB cable.
So that is the Immersive Reader, and we can close it. Now let's look at the Office and Word online. To do that, we go, of course, to our browser, whatever browser you want. I happen to be using Chrome. I could be using Edge or one of the other many browsers that are out there. And all you have to do is type in office.com. We can open up the last document, but if we just open up Word, now let's open that last document we just had. We are using the online version of Word. We're going to go to View, and when we go to View, now we see all of the view items here, and one of them is the Immersive Reader. When we click on that, it puts us in the Immersive Reader. First, you can change the font, which you can't do on the computer version, but in the online version, you can adjust the font to be whatever you would like. You can make it very big. Just leave it at that, at 36. You can increase the spacing, or you can leave it like this. We'll increase the spacing. You can change the font. Right now it's in Calibra. We can change it to Sitka or to Comic Sans. And you can change the themes. Again, if you go to dark, it turns it to dark with a white lettering, or you can change it to various colors. They call it themes. And by clicking outside of the box, that goes away. The next one is you can turn on the syllables, but you can tell what parts of speech a word is. You can say turn on all of the nouns, and it turns to that color. And you can change the colors. So if you want to show all of them, that's fine. And it says show labels, and so it actually will show what the various words are. That's the adjective. So you can do it for all of them. The next is the reading preferences. You can do the line focus, and then the picture dictionary. You can turn that on or off, but what does that mean? Well, if I hold it over the word delivering and then click, I get some pictures. Or if I want the length, it shows me some rulers. And if you click on it, it'll tell you how to pronounce it.
Additionally,
so that's the picture dictionary, and then you can also translate the article into other languages. All built into the Immersive Reader. Of course, down here, that point, and then...
Does the length of a USB cable affect charging? The length of a USB...
So you get the reading, but you can also have some settings. You can change the speed. If you want it to be faster or a little bit slower, you can change the speed. And if you want to change the voice from a female to male...
A USB cable can impact the amount of power it's delivering from one end to another, but there are several caveats.
So you can go to a male and female. You can't choose which voice you're using. So that's the Word Immersive Reader. Here's my Outlook on my computer. And we'll take a look at the first email that's here. You'll notice it's kind of gobbledygook. Well, that's because I get it in as text, and I have to click this and display as HTML. And that's a setting that I have for security reasons. So here is the article. In order to see it in the Immersive Reader, we have to, like Word, go into View, and you'll see then the Immersive Reader. When I click the Immersive Reader, I have the Immersive Reader menu, and I can change the column width just as I did in Word. If you double-click the email, it opens it as a separate window. In the new window, we now have the Immersive Reader in the menu. When we click it, it's there. And we have all the things that we could do in Word, we can now do in our email. And we can do the page color, line focus, and so on. And then we can also read aloud.
About Chromebooks. Incoming ℙ𝕝𝕒𝕒 text from PDFs on Chromebooks.
Now there's one other thing that we can do with this. If you look at the menu, it's got Immersive Reader, and right next to it, it's got Read Aloud. So if we click that,
Chromebooks. Kevin C. TOEFL. January 20th. While you can already digitize physical documents with Chrome and
we wouldn't have to be in the Immersive Reader in order to read aloud in our email program. Let's now take a look at the online version, and we're going to go to Outlook. We've got one email here. Let's take a look at it. When we highlight it, it opens it to the side, just as we do in the computer version. In order to get to the Immersive Reader, you click View, and then you see the Immersive Reader in the menu. You click it, and then it does everything that the Immersive Reader does. The Immersive Reader for OneNote, Office Lens, Microsoft Teams, and of course the Microsoft Edge all work in a very similar manner. That's the Immersive Reader for Word and Outlook. I'm Hewie Poplock.